The Berenstain Bears Comic Valentine by Stan and Jan Berenstain. For every Dick and Jane and Jerry, a special day in February is a time to win, a time to woo, a time for saying, I love you, with Valentines both comical and serious and messages mysterious. Brother Bear turned a little pale when he saw the morning mail, a Valentine addressed to Brother Bear. All that he could do was stare. On the envelope appeared 4 letters, big and bold, that gave Brother goosebumps and made his blood run cold. Yes, something truly was amiss. It said S-W-A-K, sealed with a kiss.
His pail gave way to a sudden rush of blood that caused a mighty blush. And what it said inside was worse. It had this lovey-dovey verse. Oh, Brother Bear, will you be mine? From Honey Bear, your super secret Valentine. Honey Bear, he wondered, who can that be? Who could have sent this object to me? A secret admirer, Brother Bear said, is something I need like a hole in the head. Then he looked at the thing with its picture of Cupid shooting love's dart, saw that no one was looking, and placed the object next to his heart.
How's the ice? Asked Papa when Brother came in. Is it okay, or is it too thin? The ice, said Brother. The hockey ice, said Papa. The season's about to begin. Oh, that ice, said Brother, distracted by the Valentine. Conditions for hockey are perfectly fine. Now it just so happened that later that day, Brother Bear's team, the Bear Country Cousins, was scheduled to play one of its regular season games against a nearby team, the Grizzlyville Flames. But he dressed for the game with something like dread as he thought of another game that lay ahead. For as he pulled his jersey over his woolies, he knew today's winning team would eventually meet those big-time, brutal Beartown bullies. When Brother came down all dressed for the game, Papa recalled his own hockey fame. Just look at him, said Pa. Takes after his dad. Reminds me of me when I was a lad. You should have seen me in my prime. I could skate like lightning and turn on a dime. My slap shot was famous. When it whizzed through the air, it was hold on to your helmet and goalie beware. He grabbed Brother's stick and hit the dog's dish that lay on the floor. It ricocheted wildly and flew out the door. That was some shot, Papa, said Brother.
Brother was impressed by Papa Bear's shot. Small Sister Bear, however, was not. Enough of hockey, she said. I've got slap shots and pucks coming out of my ears. It's all right for them, but it bores me to tears. Now I don't object to hockey as such, but day after day it does get to be a little bit much. There's more to life. Hopscotch, jacks, jumping rope, double dutch, and Valentine's Day. Now there's an occasion that suits my style, a chance to do something a little worthwhile. A few hours later on that day, Star Forward Brother had a game to play. Sportcaster Joe, take it away.
Sportscaster Joe here. As expected, Star Forward Brother Bear has dominated today's game. He drives down the ice, this check, he passes off, takes a return pass, shoots, and scores! The final score was 5-0, with high-scoring Brother the hockey hero. The cheers for the Cousins were long and loud. They left the ice to the roar of the crowd. So there you have it, a stellar performance by Brother Bear and another victory for the Bear Country Cousins. This puts the Cousins in the big Valentine's game against the Beartown Bullies, a dubious privilege at best.
There was a special cheer for Brother as well, The cheerleaders gave him a well-deserved yell. 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? Brother, brother, no other, brother, brother, no other. Yay! Then they addressed Brother in more personal terms. Oh, sigh, oh, my. Yuck, said Brother. When it comes to mush, I'd rather eat worms. Then, after the game, making the scene was that gorgeous creature, the lovely Charlene. When very good game, she sweetly said, Brother turned color from his toes to his head. Say, thought Brother, could she be Honey Bear? Could it possibly be? Could she be the one with a crush on me? Then a terrible thought crossed Brother Bear's mind. Suppose it turned out, suppose he should find that Honey Bear was a member of the cheerleading crew, possibly Pam, possibly Sue, or maybe even, gulp, Mary Lou. Meanwhile, back at the mailbox, the plot was thickening. The Valentine pace was rapidly quickening. Still another Valentine awaited Brother there. It first caught the eye of small Sister Bear. It was flowery and pink and smelled of perfume. It increased Brother's feeling of Valentine's doom. It was even mushier than the one before. As far as he was concerned, this thing called love was a terrible, awful, sickening bore.
And as I said before, in no uncertain terms, when it comes to mush, I would rather eat worms. Down with mush, kissing and hugging and all that slush, snuggle-bugging, and I've no crush on any member of the opposite sex, whatever that is. I say a hex on rubbing noses or holding hands or any sort of long-range plans. Down with mush, whispering and giggling and all that gush, wiggling and jiggling, and I say hush to any and every mention of that embarrassing, harassing thing called love.
A little bit later, as the season progressed, Brother undertook a dangerous quest. He was scouting the bullies of Beartown fame that his team would play in the championship game. He knew just where to find them, in the fog of Bully's Creek, and hidden by the fog, he took a cautious peek. Said Brother Bear, this has to be the place. But there was no sign of bullies, not a single trace. And then they came, out of the mist, bunched together like a giant fist. There were slashing sticks, a flashing puck. There was no place to hide, no way to duck. Then, with Brother looking for a tree to climb, the bullies pulled up. They scratch-stopped on a dime. Their goalie mercifully decided to let Brother live. Why? Because they had a demonstration to give. There was no question the bullies were powerful opposition. They were especially strong in the goalie position. That giant goalie in his fearsome mask was more than up to the goalie's task. Not a single shot got through. Brother slunk away. What to do? What to do?
But as Brother weighed their chances in the upcoming game against the mighty bullies of Beartown fame, he forgot about the other Valentine's game, the one in which love is the name of the game. The third Valentine was a big red heart, covered all over with kisses and art. And at that very moment, with the Honey Bear mystery getting deeper and deeper, and the Valentine suspense getting steeper and steeper, who should ride by, right there and then, but the lovely Charlene, that Bear Country 10. Then with a friendly wave, and a whispery hi, the lovely Charlene just biked on by. Brother's head was in a whirl. Could she be the mystery girl? Could she be the one? Could it really be? Could the lovely Charlene have a crush on me? Then Valentine's Day came, the day of the match for the championship. Bears had come from miles around. Why, even Big Paw made the trip. Brother was suiting up with the other lads, putting on his skates and pads, when that other game asserted itself in another envelope on his locker shelf. This Valentine read, "You shall know me very soon. I reveal myself this afternoon. Signed, Honey Bear." Brother tried being angry, frustrated, furious, but he just couldn't manage it. He was much too curious. He scanned the stands, surveyed the scene, and got a smile for his trouble from, yes, you guessed it, the lovely Charlene. Then came the cheers of the cheerleading crew. We mustn't forget the cheerleading crew, consisting of Pam and Sue and, gulp, Mary Lou.
Pluck and luck, luck and pluck, make those bullies eat that puck. And after the cheer, Sportscaster Joe.
The referee drops the puck, and this long-awaited game is underway. The bullies control. Oh, they are big. Cousin star forward Brother Bear, skating hard, steals and passes off. He is checked hard. Oh, these bullies are tough. Brother recovers, takes a return pass, and shoots. An easy save for the bullies' super goalie. Yes, this match is everything we hoped it would be. Bullies' power against Cousin's speed. Star forward Brother Bear against Bullies' super goalie. With the Bullies leading 1-0 and just minutes to play, it begins to look like another Bullies year. And Brother looks a little discouraged. And who can blame him?
There was no doubt Brother was tired. So in an effort to get his engine refired, he looked in the stands for the lovely Charlene. But when he found her, his disappointment was keen. Because the cousins were losing, Charlene had switched sides. Charlene was lovely, but she was as changeable as the tides. Brother saw red. He reached for the puck, and whether by skill or pure dumb luck, he shot and scored. The crowd went wild. The score was now tied. The bullies were tough, but the cousins were working on anger and pride. A final face-off, a fight for the puck. Brother checked by a bully as big as a truck. A desperate shot, but it went wide. A slip on the ice, a pinwheeling slide. A reach for the puck, a terrific get, and somehow that puck slipped into the net.
The cousins win! The cousins win! The cousins win!
The cheers for the cousins were long and loud, but Brother continued to search the crowd for some signal, some sign of Honey Bear, his super secret Valentine. Then in a show of sportsmanship, the two teams lined up, shook hands, and celebrated the winner of the cup. As Brother reached for the last handshake, something happened to boggle the mind. The bully's great goalie, who had been sort of lingering behind, began to take off her mask and pads. That's right, her mask and pads. Brother was shocked, utterly stunned. The goalie who'd stopped all those shots he had gunned was a she. It said so right there on the extra-large T-shirt of Miss Honey Bear. Brother was all but speechless. Honey Bear, is you? Yes, indeedy, none other. I really admire the way you skate. Then the bully super goalie said to star forward Brother, maybe we could practice with each other. I can practice my save, and you could practice your shot. Brother grinned from ear to ear, reached out his hand and said, "Why not?"
They became fast friends right then and there. Starve Forward Brother and Miss Honey Bear.
Hi, I'm Rick Harris, and I'm here with Jan, Stan, and Mike Berenstain. And I'd like to begin by asking Stan, how many books have you made?
We have done about 230 books about the Berenstain Bears over a period of 40 years. We had done non-bear books before that. Books about family life, funny books, books with cartoons. But 230 plus when it comes to the bears. And we're doing more. We're not going to stop until they force us to.
Jan, have you a favorite book?
I usually say it's the one I'm working on now because it's so much fun to keep drawing, and the drawing gets better and better, and that's why the one I'm working on now is my favorite.
Stan, do you have a book you wished you had changed, written a different ending, drawn a different picture?
We never look back and we have no regrets. Not really, no, because we go into them so thoroughly and look at all the alternatives, and we have editors, sitting on our shoulders. So it's a pretty logical process. We've been doing it a long time, and we usually end up with what we had hoped to get. It's not always as well received as perhaps we hoped it would be, but generally the books have done well.
How old were you when you decided you wanted to become an artist, Stan?
I began drawing when I was a tiny little kid, 4 or 5 years old. I didn't have any sense of what an artist was. I just used to take the round paper bags in my grandmother's Army-Navy store and the big red marking crayon and draw pictures on it. They didn't look like much. My mother remembers them as being masterful, Michelangelo no less, but I'm pretty sure they were scribbles.
Jan?
Well, I always wanted to be an artist. My dad trained as an artist, although he made his living as a carpenter, and I just wanted to be able to do what he did. So I started very young, and I would sit beside him at his drafting table and draw in my copybook. As a matter of fact, he showed me how to draw a tree when I was about 6, and that was very helpful.
What did you do after that in terms of becoming an artist?
Well, I would draw all through elementary school and high school. In elementary school, in the days when I went to elementary school, the teacher would pick 1 or 2 of the best artists in the class to do all the murals and pictures for the room. So it really got me going. I think art teachers are more democratic today and insist the whole class be involved. But it was, that's how it went with me in those days.
And Stan, what about you?
Well, my first big experience as a juvenile artist was when I became interested in a prize fighter named Primor Carnera, who was a huge imported heavyweight. My next door neighbor was a shoemaker, Mr. Vita Colonna, and to celebrate this imported Italian fighter was going to fight Max Baer, he made an enormous shoe which he put in the window. Well, that inspired me. There were also photographs of